Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Blinky here, coming at you with another mildly Genshin related video this time. We're going to be discussing a lecture done by Torolf Jernstrom, CEO of Tribeflame, on the use of behavioural psychology in mobile gaming monetization. And so I thought I would let you clue you up on some of the strategies that games like Genshin Impact do use in order to get you to spend more money in their game, just so that you are better prepared in order to avoid some of these strategies. Catch you on the other side. If you have found this educational or helps you in some way, a subscribe to the channel will be fantastic, and a like on the video will be epic. I do make Genshin related content almost every other day, and I'm going to have another video in this similar vein coming out very soon. So as previously mentioned, a lot of the information I'm going to be drawing from in this video is going to be from a lecture done by Torolf Jernstrom. The link will be in the description below. So some of the things we're going to be talking about today are the couple of models he uses. This is one of which called Bartle Types. We have another called Hook Habit Hobby model, and we're going to be talking about the loss aversion and how that relates to the gacha system. A technique called anchoring, and another one under social proof. I know you can guess what some of these are. Social proof is quite an interesting one. It relates to some of my other content creators, so stick around for that one. So the first model we're going to be looking at here is called Bartle Types. Now this relates to different kinds of people and how different things in games appeal to them. So your first one you've got are the achievers, and these people want to progress. We've got socializers, these ones are going to want customization in your video games. We've got the killers, and these ones are going to want a competitive edge. This is where your pay to win comes in. And then we've got explorers, and these ones are going to want more content. Now it's important to work out which one of these you are, as different monetization techniques are going to work differently on you specifically. So if you're a achiever, you're going to want progress. This is things like the weekly purchase of XP in the game. And this is in fact the biggest moneymaker for a lot of mobile games, as it requires the least amount of effort and it has continual purchase systems in it. Your next one, you have the socializers. So in this one, there isn't a lot currently in Genshin Impact, but in terms of the socializers, they're going to want customization to show off to their other players. This is great, but not quite as lucrative as the selling to the achievers. We don't currently have a lot of this in Genshin Impact. Now that I think about it, not much. The gacha system could fit in a little bit with this, but I think we're more talking about skins, your glider skins, etc. Those aren't currently implemented in Genshin Impact right now. The next ones we've got are the killers, and these ones want a competitive advantage. And I know that we don't currently have PvP in the game, but the gacha system also fills into this. You've got other progression-based systems that will make you feel further ahead than other players, and that's what these people are looking for. Now, this is quite an interesting monetization area, as this is very lucrative, but it's careful not to overdo it, as your game will be labeled as pay to win, and people will stop playing, and obviously if you've got no one playing your game, you can't earn any money. And then the last group we've got are the explorers, and these lot want content, and this is... in this game, Genshin Impact, you don't really need to pay for content. I mean, there's a couple of EXP walls to fit, but that's not really a thing. The reason why this is often not as monetized as the other systems is that creating content costs a lot more on the game developer side, and so it becomes less lucrative than other systems such as the customizations or the paying to progress system. So knowing what kind of Bartle type you fit into can make you aware of what kind of strategies they're going to be making you try to pay money into their game to progress. So let's say you like skins in games, right? Everyone likes skins in games. For some people more than others, like some people don't care. Like take a look at Faker from League of Legends. He literally never plays with a skin, so he doesn't care about the socialization system. So he's not really going to be too concerned with about the limited time offers on skins, where he will be maybe more concerned with achieving progress. He's going to want to pay to progress faster, and so it's careful to be aware. It's important to be aware of which of these you fit into specifically. And so the next system that we have is the Hook Habit Hobby model. Now this is a model in order to turn from your starting player into a paying player at the end of the game. So your first section is obviously the hook. Here you're going to have your great intro, your story missions. This is where gacha systems have a lot of free resources at the beginning of the game, But here also you give the player a really good deal, like one you'd be stupid to turn down. For example, the Blessing of the Welkin Moon, which is a fantastic purchase in-game, and I do actually recommend taking this. But the problem with it is once you spend once, it becomes a lot easier to spend more. So once you've broken that wall of spending once initially, it's a lot easier to continue spending in these kinds of games. And so it's important to have that, to be aware of that psychological effect, so that once you've bought the high value product at the beginning, you don't go on to buy more and more. You just stop there and you're like, that's a good value system, I'm going to buy that. Whereas you don't get hooked in and buy more. The next area is the habit. So this is where the game will try to make a habit out of itself. So you've got your daily, this is where things like the energy system keep you coming back to the game continuously. You've got the rotating dungeons, so that you're incentivized to come on specific days. You can't farm everything in one day and then just drop the game for like a week. You need to come back every single day in order to be able to they want you to turn this game into one of your habits. This is also where purchases such as Blessing of the Welkin Moon once again and the Battle Pass system are highly incentivized, as these make you keep coming back to the game. So with the Battle Pass, you have the daily missions, you want to complete those each day, otherwise you feel like you're not making progress on your Battle Pass and you're going to miss out on rewards. This keys in later to loss aversion, and other such strategies like that. Then next, we have the last stage. This is where the game for you has become a hobby, and in your mind you perceive the game as one of your main hobbies and time spenders. And this is where your walls to spending money on the game are going to break down, because you perceive the game as a larger part of your life, and you're happy to spend more resources, more time on it itself. This is where you need to be really careful, because the game has become a hobby for you. So next we've got loss aversion. This is the premise that losing something to you is weighted higher than if you were to gain something. And so this is where the game will give you things, and then rather than taking them away from you, you will need to spend, or you'll need to invest in order for this not to happen. So for example, the best example of this in the game is Battle Passes, and this is the same for all Battle Passes in every single game. You have that initial fantastic value, you purchase it, and then you need to keep coming back, investing your time. Here, you're not investing money, but you're investing your time into the game. And that's also what they want. I mean, it's fine for all of us, but you don't want to lose out on the end of the Battle Pass, because you feel like you've already purchased it, that's what you have earned, and you will be losing that. So this is where you might end up purchasing a level in the Battle Pass if you miss a day or so, and it's just something to be aware of, that's something that you are going to want to do, and you'll weight it higher. This also applies to the gacha system and your limited time heroes. So for example, those of you that wanted Venti, I wonder if you spent any money for him. He was a limited time hero, and so the fear of losing out on that specific hero incentivizes you to spend more and more money to make sure that you do get it. This applies to other areas of gaming, so those time-based shops in games like Fortnite, etc. This applies to those. And so the next behavioral strategy we have here is called anchoring. Now this one I quite like a lot, it's quite interesting. It comes from, there's an example in the black pearl industry, where when black pearls originally came to market, no one wanted to buy them because they're dull, they're boring, they're black pearls. Why would you want them? You want a shiny pearl, right? But what ended up happening is the trader who was trying to sell them told his trainee, whatever, to drop the price, just get rid of them, whatever. There was a mistake, and the guy actually increased the price, hiking it up, and everyone then perceived the value of these black pearls way higher than they actually were in the market. And so people started buying them, and they became a desirable product, an object of desire that people wanted. And so this just shows that no matter what the product is, it's all about the perceived value in the buyer, what you're willing to spend on them. And so in your mobile games and other games as well, this isn't just mobile gaming, this is where you go in the shop, they will sell a product. So for example, this is your crystal refreshers, right? So those to you, they look horrendous, like they're way too expensive, whatever. And this is where you sell a product well over the market value. Not actually to sell the product, but in order to set a perceived value for that product to the consumer. And then what they will do then is return to you with a great deal based off of the perceived value they've already given you. Neither of these are great deals. They're in-game purchases of non-existent currency. So like the value that they try and set, they essentially are trying to set the value. So let's say 100 crystals are £50, and then they'll come back to you in a week's time and sell those same 100 crystals for £15, and you're like, wow, that's an amazing value. I'm going to buy that right now while I can. And that's where anchoring comes into play, where they give you they're giving you the value of what their currency is worth. Even that whether or not it's actually worth that is another matter, but that's a strategy that is used. And just remember that when you're deciding in the game, is this a great value product, you've got to think about where you've got that value from, and have you got that value from MiHoYo or from the game developer themselves on what that product is worth. And so the last thing we're going to go through here is called the social proof. So this is the premise that humans, we are social animals. We're essentially herd animals. This is where you get sheeple, etc. We want to do what everyone else is doing. We want to fit in. That's normal, and it makes us feel like safe and comfortable if we fit in. Now this makes us want to do what everyone else is doing. So what the game developer will try to do is make the socially accepted way of playing their game to be a spender in their game. So this is where your big time streamers, your other big time content creators like Tenha, Mtashed, they spend loads of money. They make you think that it's socially acceptable to spend lots of money. So these game developers really love when there's gacha pulling videos. They love all of that, as that makes it socially acceptable to spend money in their game, and thus you will want to spend money in their game because you want to fit in socially. Now, it's up to you personally whether or not you want to watch these gacha pull videos. I like watching them, they're pretty fun. Watching Mtash not pull the item that he wants, that's pretty good stuff. But if you really want to be free to play and really want to avoid spending money in these kinds of games, I highly recommend not watching other people spend money in their games. You'll know what videos are what. But yeah, if you want to really avoid spending money, don't watch pull videos, as it will make you feel like it's socially acceptable to spend money in this game. So I hope this video has helped you in learning some of the monetization tactics of Genshin and to avoid falling into the traps and pitfalls that they're set for you, and avoid spending as much money in this game. If this has been helpful, remember that a subscribe and a like massively helps out the channel, and I'll catch you in a bit.